Let's see what this does. She's had a little tiny bit of time to warm up. That's milky. I wonder if that's the reason. Or if that's just condensation. So I'm about to analyse what the dipstick might look like, because I want to know what health is my 40s engine in. Is she actually got a blown head gasket now? There appears to be no milk on this, so it just is condensation that's built up on the cap, or at least colour comparisons. Yeah, that's just on the cap. Sorry, just targeting the plug, the hole. My water has completely run out from just sitting. So wherever it's gone, it's either gone out the head gasket into cylinders. It has either gone through there and filled up the cylinders and gone down the liners very slowly and into the sump, in which case that's why there's oil and water mixed on the cap. That can just be cleaned up, but I'm not going to worry about it because this thing's going to get a freshen up anyway, as in skin wise. The water could have come through the heater onto the floor in the cab. She's completely out of coolant just about. I'm actually going to open it up again, if I can find a key for it again, and identify whether that is the reasons for why we're having these problems with this car. Because this is actually some of the reasons why I took this car off the road, is because this was one of the issues I was encountering, and it was pretty significant. So it could be that it's slowly coming out from up there. That's still green and white. The white represents the new coolant, the green represents the old coolant, so it does have a slight leak there, if there's any leftover stuff. All that hose is going to be coming out when we do this car up. So there's reasons why I took this off the road. The major reason is because of this coolant issue that I keep having, where I keep losing all my coolant, but not knowing why and where, and it could be going out anywhere. It could be going through the exhaust, it could go through the turbo. The cooling system, it could even be that coolant bottle is cracked somewhere and I don't know. It doesn't look like it's cracked, but it could be. You never know. The ways you analyze where it's going through, where you're losing coolant, is, for one, we have that bottle on its own. It could be lost at the bottle, it could be going out the end pipe, the one to the road. It could be when it's in the radiator, it could be coming out the fittings, and obviously there's no white marks, so this suggests that the radiator is still good. It could be coming out the plumbing, so it could be coming out from down here, which I don't think it is, but it could be. It could be coming out through these fittings, because it's plastic, most likely on plastic fittings. It could be coming out those ones over there, and then it could be coming through the heater, leaving the system through the heater core, or it could be going into the block through the head gasket, or leaving the head gasket through, leaving through the head gasket somehow. It could also be in relation to the turbo, since it has the water-cooled turbo. I'm not sure where I'm losing the coolant, why I'm losing the coolant, but this is just naturally just happening, and it's doing it on its own. Now, I've only started this up tonight, to do a bit of a run and see how the battery's doing, because I don't want to kill the battery. All the stickers have been removed. This car is now unregistered, because, as I've said, I'm planning to actually fix her up, because she is pretty good for what she is. This one here, on the other hand, I'm planning to get her running, maybe soon, maybe not. I'm actually trying to consider what it is. Anyway, the value difference between the two cars, surprisingly, is about $1,200. So this is $2,500 in value, this is $3,700 in value. Market-wise, That's what I'd get if I had to claim insurance on this car here. So the Tartar's worth $3,700, whereas the Triton's only worth $2,500. However, the Triton's much more gutsier, more reliable on the road than the Tartar. They keep calling the Tartar an industrial little machine, which it pretty much is. Anyway, guys, I was not intending to make this video for that reason. I was actually making it for another reason. Now I've got a reason to convert what my video is basically around. So instead of just being, let's look at this car, it was mostly because I wanted to analyze the water, take video footage of that and some other stuff to see what's going on, and it's sort of a reference point. And also to show others. I'm going to go for the house now. Dad's car's running again. Piece of crap that keeps breaking down. And I didn't drive it the other day. Okay, let's shabba-dabba-doo-da-day. That's the back door's open. Shut. Closed. You okay, Mum? Is it a good project that they did? Good what they made?
I got my heart mask.
Yeah, you finally did it. The Tiki Trail game.
I died on every fucking level because I'm on the moon.
What some kids at some students from AIE developed, which is Tiki Trials. It is on Steam for $10.50, I believe it was, AU, and when it's, you know, back to its original price before it's after the sale and new release, it will be $15. Feel free to support the developers. As I said, I'm going this way because I'm going to the other vehicles now, because I've got lights, camera action. Mum's car's got paint all over it from this project here that my dad did. So we're still in bits and pieces with this. The caliper was removed and sort of kind of partially rebuilt. No new seals on it though, it was just cleaned and reassembled. Or maybe it's not even complete, I have no idea. I don't need both these lights, one will do. So there's that one. We have a lot of work still to do. There's the nuts for the wheels, they have to be machined. The roof is still the same, there's overspray over here. There's a lot of work to do on this, at the same time there isn't. So what I would say is I want to get this all together and be done with this, because once this project's done, I have to save up and work towards the next one. This one needs, well, it got its new tyres finally. I convinced Mum, and the boot's still open. She's going to run out of battery. And I have a lot of work to do. So, realistically, can't do much, and I'm having issues trying to hold the camera now, because this is how YouTube forces me to make my videos now, through not being able to flip the camera as I want to, as I need to. Now I have to make them manually and then upload them like this, otherwise I have to do all the extra editing work, which setting up cameras, moving them, it's a big pain in the butt. Okay, so I'm pretty much done with the cars for now. I was going to go and start up the Tartar, I believe. I was thinking about it. At the same time, I'm thinking of not. Next update I should give on the Tartar is that the tachometer has been done. And
Oh, yeah.
cool, Mum's having fun. So the tacho is now fixed. It has been rebuilt. Now goes up, now goes down, but it still has this little glitch here on the needle. This hill still has to go back together again, but I've been busy. So this has been all done, it all works, all functions. And now, what we need to do is put this back in the car, partially assembled. We're going to put all this in the car. This cover plate here, I'm going to see if I can find a way to get that fixed, because we can't have this hole here, otherwise dust goes in and gets all over the instruments and makes a mess. So I want to put this together as cleanly as possible, so I'm going to get this piece of plastic if I can. I've repaired or fill it with something so that it's sort of okay, but it doesn't have to be perfect, I don't think. But this is very far from perfect. Having a hole there, you can clearly see there's a hole cut here. Why? Because that's how this needle got bent here. That's why there was all the glue on it, because it fell off. And someone had to cut a hole in here instead of pulling the dash cluster out and fixing it properly. If I could get a piece of plastic, that would make my life easy. I'd just put a new piece on. Or if I can get this fixed, it will make my life harder, but let's fix it. I need to glue these back on because they kept falling off. A little bit silly how they've done it. If I take this back to them, they might replace this one here because it's, I think, cracked or broken, or it might just be factory how they've done it. I have no idea. It looks broken though, so we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to leave this at this and that. I have a crap ton of work to do, guys, and as long as I don't hit the wrong button, I'll be okay. Got a lot of work to do. As you know, I'm thinking about doing a Triton, but still in no position to do nothing with the Triton. I am going to probably not be able to make any videos pretty soon. I've got to do 20 job applications again, and I haven't started them yet. I just went for a job interview today. I had a phone interview yesterday, and probably in the next 3 weeks I might have a internship, basically sort of a job, and at the end of it, whoever they bring on for the internship, they have to give a job at the end, if there is jobs at the end. From what I understand, they want someone to learn something about marketing, and so that's not a easy or difficult field. It's a bit of a trick question getting that one right, but I think I can cover that. I believe I can cover that with my skills. Mum's having fun with that game. Otherwise, I've got to see what I can do with the Triton. I don't want to let it sit around and just let the battery drain out. I need to do one final compression test on it to validate whether or not we've lost compression. And if we've lost compression, we know it's the head gasket, and it's validated because that thing, it's actually running rough now, so that tells me a little bit of a story. It tells me that the compression is probably back up again, which is, I don't think it's a good sign that the compression is back up. I should have tested it while it was still smooth, but it's running rough again. So I don't know. Lesson learned: when it runs rough, you can't do it. Anyway, that's it. Good night, goodbye, see you later.